Okay, so select the mug, right click and clone, and press copy, and press OK. And let's enter into isolate selection toggle. And right click our object, and we have to convert it into edit poly object. Now I'm gonna expand this layer and enter into an edge mode. Okay, so don't forget that this button is the same as these objects above here. Okay, so enter into an edge mode so that we can select these edges. Double click this, hold the control key on your keyboard, and select these edges as well. Okay, right click and split it. Let's enter into element mode and select this element. Press Ctrl I on your keyboard and delete. Enter into a border mode so that we can select this border. Right click and cut. Enter into polygon mode so that we can select this face. And under edit geometry, we have here a tessellate box settings. Click that. And you can see here that the tessellate adds a additional segments, but it doesn't meet the vertices at the other end. Okay, so here we have to choose face, and it fixes that flow of these edges, and it finally meets the vertices at the edges of this object. Okay, and press check. Now let's enter into vertex mode and select the vertex at the center. Hold the control key on your keyboard and click this edge button, and it's gonna convert our selection into a edges selection. And right click and choose the connect box settings, and under connect edges properties, let's give it an additional number of 20 more segments, and press enter and click check. Now let's go back to vertex mode, deselect everything and select the vertex at the center. Expand the soft selection and click the check the use soft selection. Check the edge distance and give it a value of 100. Set the bubble into a value of 1 and try to adjust the fall off by dragging these adjustment arrows until the blue color reaches the edge. Okay, and now use the move tool and move our selected edge vertices upward in z-axis. So you may want to expand your gizmo sizes by pressing the plus key and negative key on your keyboard. Okay, so expand your gizmo. Now let's move it up in z-axis, right? And use the scale tool, and we are going to scale these selected vertices simultaneously in x and y axis, and you have to place your mouse cursor over here. Okay, but before doing that, let's expand the fall off once more until that blue edges touches the edges. Okay, right, and now place your mouse cursor over both in x and y axis and expand. Okay, and now let's turn off the soft selection. go back to port border so that we can select this border. Right click and cap. Enter into polygon mode so that we can select this polygon. Right click and I'm sorry. So I'm gonna do the right click and go into edit geometry, and under edit geometry we should use the tessellate again. Click the settings, box settings, and in box settings make sure that the uh, settings is set into face. Okay, face. Okay, and press check. And now let's enter into vertex mode so that we can select this vertex at the center. And so I'm gonna minimize our gizmo by pressing the negative key on our keyboard. And with this vertex selected, hold the control key on your keyboard and click this edge button, and it will going to convert our selection into edge selection. And with this edges selected, right click and connect. Click this box settings and enter a value here, an additional of 20 segments, and press check. Now deselect everything, zoom in over here, double click this edge. Okay, and it will instantly select the edges at this part. Hold the control key and select, double click these edges as well. Okay, right click and click this chamfer box settings. So I'm gonna zoom in over here, and under box chamfer settings, try dragging this arrow and give it a small distance between this chamfer, and add additional segments right at the center of this chamfer by giving it a value of additional segments of 3, and press check. Okay, and let's exit our editing by clicking this turning this off and deselect, and check if everything looks good. Okay, and exit isolate selection. Okay, so that's the basic of the creating of this cap object. And the next thing we need to do is to put some hole at this part of this object. Okay,